Good afternoon, lecturer and all of my classmates. I am Buliep. Today I present about the line that lead to enlightenment that relate to topic Buddha and Buddhism.
Greeting lecturer and hello everyone. So my name is Somachana. As a part of Group 4, I'm present about enlightenment and core teachings.
Greeting lecturer and hello everyone. My name is Vai Đăng Hạ. I'm from Group 4. My part today is covering about the spread of Buddhism in India.
Greeting lecturer and hello everyone. My name is Kong Dat Linh and I'm from Group 4 and my part is covering about the spread of Buddhism across Asia.
Greeting lecturer and hello everyone. My name is Lisa. I'm from Group 4 and I will be covering the modern Buddhism part and conclusion.
Hello lecturer and everyone. So we are Group 4 and it's our honor to present religions in Asia under the guidance of lecturer Heng Lee as part of our ISE 101 course. So today's presentation is brought to you by me, Rachana, Đình Hạ, Darlin, Bun Liep, and Lisa. Buddhism, one of Asia's most profound spiritual traditions, will be our focus. We'll explore first the life that led to the Buddha's enlightenment. Second, his core teachings, the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Paths. Third, how Buddhism spread across India. Four, its journey beyond India. And finally, its role in the modern world. Have you ever wondered how a sprint's quest for truth shaped millions of lives? Let's begin this journey together.
So now for the first slide about the line that lead to enlightenment. I have 2 points that I will give it to you. For the first point, birth of Prince Siddhartha Gautama. He was born in the Kapilavastu or modern day in Nepal around 533 to King Sohodamra and Queen Maya. According to legend, his mother had a dream of a white elephant entering her womb, signifying the birth of a great being. As you can see in the picture, Siddhartha births are made by various miraculous events, including his ability to walk and talk immediately after birth. And the second point about life of a Hindu prince. Siddhartha grew up in a luxury and was sheltered from the outside world by his father, who wanted to protect him from the harsh realities of life, ensure he would become a great ruler. And after that, he married Prince Yasudhara at a young age, and they had a son named Rahula. And now we move to another slide that are the same topic, but I have 2 points more to add on the first slide. And now we will talk about the four encounter. After a long year, he got 29 years old. Siddhartha went through outside the palace wall and encountered for sin that changed his life forever. As you can see at the picture, for the first one, old man. He saw an elderly man, realizing that a king in invisible. And the second one is a sick man. He witnessed a person suffering from illness, understanding that sickness is a part of human experience. And the third one is a dead man. He saw a dead body, realizing that the reality of death and impermanent. And the last one is a holy man. He encountered a wandering ascetic whose had renowned worldly pleasure in inspiring him to seek a way to overcome suffering. And the last point about the renunciation. After he came back to palace, he disturbed by his encounter. He decided to leave his royal life behind in search of the truth. He straight left the palace, cut off his long hair, and donned yellow robe of a wandering ascetic, symbolizing his renunciation of wealth and worldly attachment. For his decision marked the beginning of his quest for enlightenment, as he saw define the cause of suffering at a path to end it. And now my point comes to the end. After this slide, all of you will know about enlightenment and core teaching provided by Rachana.
Let's move to the next part that talking about enlightenment and core teachings. Let me tell you about Prince Siddhartha. He left his rich life to find the truth about life. After many years, he sat under the Bodhi tree and meditated. There, he finally understood suffering and how to be free from it. He became Buddha, which means the awakened one. Later, in a place called Sanet, he shared his first teachings. First one is the Four Noble Truths, why we suffer and how to stop it. The second is the Eightfold Path, how to live a good life. So, these aren't just ideas, but they are real steps to happiness. So now, let's look at these truths and paths. Moving to the next slide, they're talking about Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Paths. So, the Buddha's Four Noble Truths are simple. The first one is, life has suffering. Everyone faces it. Second, suffering comes from wanting things too much. Third, if we stop wanting too much, suffering ends. Fourth, the Eightfold Path shows us how to do this. So, the Eightfold Path is like 8 tools to live better. They work together like parts of a bicycle. So, they teach us to be good, stay aware, and think carefully. Let's see how these 8 steps work in daily life. Let's move to the next point of my part talking about the middle path or Eightfold Path. Now let's look at the Buddha's Eightfold Path, his practical guide for living well. So imagine this as a wheel with 8 spokes. Each spoke is an important part of the path, and they all work together to keep our life balanced. So first comes wisdom. This is about seeing life clearly. There are a right understanding means knowing the Four Noble Truths we just discussed. A right resource means making a firm decision to live ethically. Nick is ethical conduct. Refer to how we treat others. So they have a right speech. That means speaking truthfully and kindly. A right action to avoiding harm to others. Right livelihood. That means earning a living in honest ways. Finally, mental discipline to training our minds. So there are a right effort. That means developing good habits, right mindfulness, being fully aware in each moment, and right meditation, that to calming and focusing the mind. The Buddha calls this the middle path because it avoids two extremes, neither chasing after pleasures nor punishing ourselves with extreme discipline. It's like walking a balanced path where all edge parts support each other, just like the spokes of a wheel support the whole. This isn't about being perfect, but about making steady progress. As the Buddha taught, each step supports the others, guiding us toward true peace and freedom. So that's all of my part. Moving to the next presenter.
So now it's my turn to talk about the spread of Buddhism in India. Let's begin with the rise of Buddhism. Emperor Asoka of the Mauryan Empire played an important role in the promotion of Buddhism. After witnessing the devastation of the Kalinga War, he embraced Buddhism and made it a central part of his rule. He built thousands of temples and stupas across his empire to promote Buddhist teaching. Asoka also sent missionaries to places like Sri Lanka and Central Asia, helping Buddhism spread beyond India. Most importantly, he organized a major council at Pataliputra to help standardize Buddhist teaching and promote unity within the faith. For the next part, it's talking about the division of Buddhism. Over time, Buddhism divided into two main branches that have Theravada and Mahayana Buddhism. Theravada Buddhism, often called the way of the elders, focuses on the original teaching of the Buddhas. It emphasizes a monastic life and meditation, and is considered more traditional and conservative. Mahayana Buddhism, on the other hand, is more accessible to lay people. It teaches that anyone can achieve enlightenment, not just monks. This branch introduced the concept of bodhisattvas, enlightened beings who help others reach enlightenment. Like you see in the right photo that I show on the slide is Mahayana Buddhism, and the last one is Theravada Buddhism. Last but not least, now let's move on to decline of Buddhism in India. Eventually, Buddhism began to decline in India around 600 to 700 CE. One reason was internal corruption within Buddhist monastery, where some monks began to live in luxury and ignore the course teaching. Another major reason was the revival and reform of Hinduism, which reabsorbed many Buddhist ideas and practices, drawing people back. By the 12th century, Buddhism had nearly disappeared from India, although it remained strong in other parts of Asia. Now that's all for my presentation of that part. Now let's move on to the next presentation is Darlene.
So let us now explore how Buddhism traveled and transformed as it moved across Asia, shaping entire culture along the way. We'll begin with China, where Buddhism first arrived via the Silk Road around the 1st century CE. One of the most important contributions in China was the translation of Buddhist scripture from Sanskrit into Chinese. This task was taken up by legendary monks like Kumarajiva and Xuanzang, who made the teachings understandable to the Chinese people. As it took root, Buddhism blended with native philosophies like Taoism and Confucianism, resulting in unique schools such as Chan Buddhism, which later evolved into Zen in Japan. Monastery also became important center for charity, offering food, shelter, and healthcare to those in need. Buddhism in China inspired a vast body of literature, poetry, and artwork, especially visible in the Dunhuang cave painting and grand temple complexes. Moving on to Southeast Asia, Buddhism arrived mainly through maritime trade routes, connecting India and Sri Lanka with coastal regions like Myanmar and Thailand. A major moment in this journey was the mission of monks Sona and Ochara, who was sent by the Indian Emperor Ashoka in the 3rd century BCE to spread the Dhamma. Over time, Theravada Buddhism took root and became the dominant tradition in countries like Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, and Cambodia. These regions developed strong monastic communities where monks play a central role in education, spiritual guidance, and social support. Local customs were woven into Buddhist rituals, creating vibrant cultural expression like the Songkran festival and architectural marvels such as Angkor Wat. Lastly, let's turn to Tibet, where Buddhism arrived in the 7th century under King Songtsen Khampo. Here, it merged with the indigenous Bon religion to form Tibetan Buddhism, a rich and distinctive tradition. Tibetan Buddhism emphasizes ritual, meditation, mantra recitation, and visualization. It also developed a complex monastic hierarchy, with the Dalai Lama emerging as both a spiritual leader and a political figure. For centuries, the Dalai Lamas led Tibet as theocratic rulers. Even in exile, the current 14th Dalai Lama remains a global symbol of peace, compassion, and resilience, keeping Tibetan Buddhism alive on the world stage. So, as we can see, the journey of Buddhism across Asia is one of the adaptation, cultural fusion, and spiritual innovation, a journey that still continues until today.
So, how is Buddhism nowadays? Now, Buddhism is a truly global religion with over 180 million followers around the world. While its root lies in India over 2,500 years ago, Buddhism has spread and evolved across the continent. In Asia, it continues to thrive in countries like, as you can see, in Cambodia, most of our people act Buddhism, and also in a country like Thailand, Japan, Sri Lanka, and Tibet, each with its own rich tradition and interpretation. But beyond Asia, we also see a growing Buddhist communities in Western countries such as United States. Like everyone knows, in United States there is a pagoda, and United Kingdom and Australia, where both immigrant and local practitioners have embraced the teaching of Buddha. And nowadays, Buddhism is generally divided into three main traditions, such as Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. Theravada Buddhism, often called the teaching of the elder, is practiced primarily in Sri Lanka and Southeast Asia, including countries like Thailand, Myanmar, and Cambodia. It emphasizes meditation and personal enlightenment through the original teaching of Buddha. And moving on to Mahayana Buddhism, or the Great Vehicle, is the most widely practiced form. It is found mainly in China, Korea, Japan, and Vietnam. And it focuses on compassion and the ideal of the one who seeks enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. For Vajrayana Buddhism, also known as the Tibetan Buddhism, developed in Tibet, Mongolia, and Bhutan. It combines ritual, mantra, and meditation, and it is well known in the West thanks to the spiritual leader like the Dalai Lama. In Cambodian, we know him as Samdak Sang Dalai Lama. And in addition to this traditional form, Buddhism is also evolving with the time. Mindfulness and meditation, which originate from Buddhist practice, have been embraced by modern psychology and wellness movement around the world. Many people now practice this technique without identifying as Buddhist. And there are also a rise in secular Buddhism and Buddhist modernism, especially in Western countries. This movement reinterprets the teaching in non-religious, philosophical way, focusing on ethics, mental well-being, and mindfulness in everyday life. And that's all for our modern Buddhism. So in conclusion, Buddhism today is not just a relic of the past. It is a living, evolving tradition with over 180 million followers worldwide. It has adapted across culture while still preserving its core value. Buddhism continues to influence how people think, feel, and live. As we reflect on this global legacy, one important question remains: how can the value Buddhism, mindfulness, compassion, and balance help us face the challenge of today? Well, whether it is dealing with stress, promoting peace, or taking care of our planet, this teaching offers a powerful tool for personal and collective well-being. And that's all for our presentation. So thank you everyone for spending your time listening to our video, and if you have any question, concern, or unsure, feel free to ask us. Best regards from our group. Thank you.